Hi and welcome to Stamping with Linda, your cardiologist since 1997, helping you create cards from the heart. Today is my 16th in my series of What's Up with Stampin' Up! As we showcase new and different product. This stamp set is actually in the main catalog. It's called Wetlands, and it's another fun stamp set to do for masculine cards. So let's get started. I want to show you several different ways that we can color this stamp in. I'm going to bring in a paper towel and kind of lay that down. What I am using is watercolor paper, and watercolor paper is the easiest way to watercolor. I'm using my aqua painter, and I'm actually going in and squeezing water all over that watercolor paper. Next, I'm going to go in and add to a little brad container a drop of my crumb cake, a drop of soft suede, Marina Mist, and Daffodil Delight. Now, watercolor paper takes a minute to dry, and the neat thing about watercolor paper is it's very forgiving. So I'm going to go in. I want this very wet and to bleed out. So I've got my crumb cake, and you can see I can just add more water. I'm going to take that off, and next I'm going to go in with that soft suede. And then make sure I get all of that soft suede off. I'm going to go in with Marina Mist. And you'll see that it's just watercoloring out. Well, I've got a little blue up here from my finger, not a problem. Just going to add that out like so. Wipe it off, and going to go in next with my Daffodil Delight and add that. So it's very wet at this point, so I'm just going to set it aside, and hopefully it'll dry under the lights as I show you more ways to watercolor. Next, what I have is a piece of shimmer cardstock. Shimmer cardstock is just that. It's a white shimmer paper. I usually only use it at Christmas time, but it can also be used for watercoloring. The thing with this is I'm going to go in with my little palette and get my crumb cake, but I can't add as much water, and the thing is that when I use this, if it's got a bold color to it, you'll see that it kind of see, I did that very well. I don't want a lot of color, so I'm getting my color and then daubing it off. I got my crumb cake and then my soft suede. Gonna go in with just a tip of the Marina Mist, and again, add water before I go to my paper because I want a soft look. Need a little bit more. Again, a little is better than a lot, because if you can keep adding, but if it gets too watery or you have too much color on your palette, it really soaks into the paper faster than in the watercolor paper. Now I'm going to go in with that yellow, the same thing. I'm going to daub off, and you can see where I first put that aqua painter, I've got a strong streak of yellow. It's okay with the yellow, but to make it softer, you really need to daub off more. So we're going to set that aside, and now I'm going to show you another way to watercolor. What I have done is I have taken the negative image from an oval cutout with my frameette, and I have put snail adhesive on here, and then I have used my fingers to kind of take the tackiness off. Someone shared that with me after one of my last videos about temporary adhesive. They told me I could go ahead and use my snail, either using my embossing buddy to kind of tap over top of it, or my fingers. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually stamp first with this stamp, with this card, and I'm using my StazOn and the goose from that stamp set. So I'm going to stamp that. And not only coloring am I going to do with this card, I'm also going to do some masking. So I have stamped on a scrap piece of paper that goose. I have cut it out, did the same thing, put the snail adhesive on it and tapped it out. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with my sponges. And I've got green on this sponge. I noticed that I did not bring my ink pads over. So this is going to be lighter, but that is okay because I really like the color to be lighter. Once you go into your ink pad with your daubers, they can be very dark. Like more so like this is, but as you use more of the color, it gets softer. So I'm going right to the edge of that oval that I'm using for a mask. And next I'm going to go in with the yellow. And it's okay if that head is a little bit smaller and it moved a little bit, but it will be fine. I'm going to kind of try to soften that blue up a little bit. So now when I pull this masking off, now I have a coloring like so. Isn't that fun? Now I'm going to pull the masking off from the goose, and because I had that masking on, it did not color inside the goose. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in with that aqua painter, take my paper towel and make sure there's no color on it, and I just want some soft gray to kind of color that goose in, and I'm taking my aqua painter and going right in to my ink pad. And there, now I have colored that goose. Fun look. Kind of want to show you that card finish. Some great greetings with this card. Oh, I guess I didn't bring over my finished card. Not a problem. We'll go ahead and finish this off. I'm going to use the Thinking of You. This comes with that stamp set, Thinking of You and Happy Birthday. So again, great masculine card or sympathy card, either way. Going to just go ahead and mount that. This paper actually measured 5 1/4 by 8. Going to add that to my Marina Mist. And they're a fun colored card, very simple. So let's go back into those pieces that I watercolored out. This was done with the watercolor paper. We're going to use our little sandpipers or seagulls from this set, and just going to stamp right on that watercolor paper using Stays On. Isn't that pretty? And here's the card I did with that. Just mounted it with some Marina Mist onto a piece of crumb cake. So that's what it looks like with the watercolor. Look how much softer it looks with the shimmer paper, because remember I daubed off. So again, gonna go in with those sandpipers or seagulls, whichever. And stamped that gorgeous. And here's what I did for that card. I just layered with the oval framelets a bigger piece of the Marina Mist. And there you have it. Some fun water techniques. Thanks for joining me. Talk to you real soon.